All right, so next up, we kind of have some brand-related pieces. This one is from the homie Eduardo, actually. Got it from him. Shout out to Ed. And I was hyped because usually Guess stuff is really boxy and fits weird. But this one's actually tagged a large, and I'm normally a vintage XX, and it fits like really well for a large. But it's a cool graphic with like sneakers, which Guess really wasn't known for, and like definitely like Vans style sneakers, which you just don't typically see. Right. So just a super obscure kind of Guess piece that I don't think I've ever seen other than this one. So shout out to Ed.
Also from the buddy.
Also from the buddy, yeah. These next two, just, you know, when you're a fan of vintage 90s sportswear, you know what the fuck this is. You know Logo Athletic. Shout out Logo 7, which, you know, originated in Indianapolis and then was transitioned to Logo Athletic. But just finding shirts that have a brand hit on the front, like normally they're just on the tag, but then to see it as the graphic as well is just super cool. So that's like kind of the, you can see the difference in logos. Oh yeah, then that has the back hit.
The back is insane.
But you can see, like, if you flip down back around, like that was the earlier Logo Athletic logo, and then they kind of like modified it into this one. So it's kind of cool to have both.
And this is the one that goes typically on the shark, and this one on like the splashes.
Exactly.
And it's so weird.
Which is just little nuances like that make us sound like nerds, but
yeah. But it is like the important differences.
Exactly.
That make stuff more unique.
Exactly. Continue with brands, like shout out to all the kids who didn't have hype sneakers as kids and shopped at Payless. So this is an old Payless brand promo shirt. It says Get Trekkin. Payless shoe source. I just thought it was super cool because one, I didn't think Payless did anything cool, and this shirt's cool. So it also has like the Earth hit, which anything Earth related I like a lot. But yeah, just a really cool, subtle, dope shirt that I like.
Right, to have that message of like, go get active.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, I'm also a sucker for anything all over print. And this is one I usually don't see. Right. Members only, brand promo, all over print. This one actually Pops found, my dad.
Yeah?
He thrifted himself and gave it to me, yeah.
He's like, what is members only?
Yeah. Man, my dad kills me. But this one was from him, but it's cool because members only, really, like, you think of a lot of their jackets. It literally only had a little, like, tab that would say members only, and everything else was plain.
The ugliest font, it's just like members only.
And then everything else is plain. This seems so out of their wheelhouse that I was thrown off when he found it. Like, it's really good size, obviously crazy print. But yeah, just super cool. Anything brand promo related, man, I'm a sucker for it.
Very vibrant colors too.
Yeah, for sure. These next two are NBC related. When I was first getting into vintage, old NBC stuff was like probably my favorite stuff to get, just because it's such good colors, such good graphics. Like the logo is just classic. This one I actually found myself back when shout out Eastsiders who know what City Thrift is. This was from City Thrift, and I remember I walked in and I was like, oh, I know that a lot of times vintage shirts are this heather gray. Let me grab this one. It was the first shirt I touched in there, and it was this one. And RIP City Thrift is now closed, but man, they had some good shit back in the day. But yeah, this is one of those from there. Just a really good graphic. NBA on NBC, you know, classic theme song. Dun, 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 you know, you can hear it when you see the logo. This one was just a good Salem graphic with a little bling bling to it. But just NBC Sports, man, you just don't need any explanation, man. It's just like one of the greatest logos from that era. So super cool. Next up this was a Christmas gift from my parents. Old Nickelodeon Studios, the place where Nick is made. Just a really cool graphic. Old Nickelodeon stuff you don't see very often, and you know, when you're our age, Nickelodeon is your childhood. So this is just a really cool piece for me to have that just kind of, you talk about nostalgia, this just hits me with nostalgia. And when I was living in LA for an internship, you know, like I said earlier, like I would walk by the Nickelodeon studios every day. Like, just really cool that I got to see that in person after like watching it on TV as a kid. So yeah, super cool graphic on that. Kind of playing off the Logo Athletic shirts I showed earlier. This one is Salem Sportswear, which is another name that, you know, if you're into 80s and 90s sportswear, like you know Salem. And it has the Bulls hit on the back, which is cool, but fuck the Bulls, Pacers. Salem is where it's at, and I needed this one. This is another one from the homie Nick at Select Stock. But you don't see, I mean, I feel like I've even seen Logo Athletic stuff more than I've seen Salem stuff, you know, as far as just brand promo.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a super cool one for me to have.
Yeah,
so
like Logo Athletic, I've seen like their hats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With like their logo on their hat.
Yep.
And like some more T-shirts, but no, I haven't seen much of like Salem ever.
This next guy is pretty crazy, and I don't really own a lot of New Balance stuff. I have one pair of shoes, but you know, it was another thing that just to me seemed kind of out of their wheelhouse of what they normally did. Really crazy, kind of like gradient motion graphic, which is embroidered onto this. It's a really lightweight material, but it's like a sweatshirt with like a thick like knit mock neck to it. And I don't know if you can tell, but it has kind of like an extendo back to it, like it's shorter in the front and like open. Like one of my least favorite things about sweatshirts is when they have a really tight band at the bottom. Like I like my stuff to be like big and flowy, and so that's exactly what this is. But like just really crazy branding on this piece that you wouldn't really expect from New Balance. They also have the same logo like on the very back, which to me just, I mean, it went from crazy to just stupid, like so sick, and fits me perfectly. I had to tease it in the shop a little bit, and I had a lot of people hitting us up about it, and I had to tell them that it was sold because it was in my closet. But I couldn't just.
I could see he's lying.
Yeah, I couldn't just put it in the closet. I had to flex a little bit.
He sold it to himself.
Yeah, exactly. You know. So shout out to the homie Tyler, sold that one to me. But yeah,
that's crazy. Oh, Tyler, he was in the video.
Different Tyler.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. This next one is a piece I actually got. This was the first time I went to round 2. Actually, I brought a bunch of shit from the unit and traded it to Sean and got to chop it up with Sean, and he gifted me a hat and a bunch of shit. He was just a super cool dude. But anyway, this was with the credit that they gave me for all the bullshit I brought him from the unit. This is one of the pieces I copped, which is just insane. Tommy, I mean, I'm not that big of a Tommy head, but I mean, this one kind of just speaks for itself.
It's crazy.
You don't see many hockey jerseys, especially with the sleeve flag hit and the crest. There's a hat that matches this that I'm looking for with that H crest on it.
Yeah.
Hey, if anyone out there has one, hit me up. But I know it matches it because one of my best friends, shout out to Dorian Holmes, he had a old picture when he was like 1 year old with his dad, and his dad had on this jersey and the hat to match it. I was like, yo,
so
like,
you gotta track it down.
Crazy.
Recreate the picture.
Hell yeah. So yeah, shout out to Dorian, man. Thank you for allowing me to know that there even is a hat that goes with this jersey. It has Hilfiger on the back.
That's crazy.
Just really, really cool piece.
Yeah, and then they're like also, where is it? Like they did the CCM.
Oh yeah, right. THL.
Bro, that's so
that's
cool.
so hard.
Yeah, it's the small details of that stuff.
It is. And I want to say there's like 2 versions of this jersey. Like there's one I think that's like predominantly navy. But I don't know. This one to me was super cool. Shout out to round 2. Shout out to Sean. This next one was kind of sticking with the LA theme. This was another LA flea market find of mine. Beavis and Butthead Halloween at UC Berkeley. UC Santa Barbara, I think is actually the school it is, UCSB. But anyway, it's glow in the dark from Halloween 1993. Halloween rules.
I was wondering why I had that outline.
Yeah, it's glowing.
Kind of
and I didn't even realize it at first until I had it on and like came home and it was just glowing. Like,
that's
super sick. But anyway, I don't know. You see Beavis and Butthead stuff once in a while. You don't see it a whole lot, but especially like for school, like local Halloween party promo, like I don't know, just super obscure. And the fact that I found it makes it cooler to me.
Right. That's something we talked to about with Carson. Like he said, like you see Grateful Dead stuff.
Yeah.
But to see like Grateful Dead like
local
fraternity stuff.
Yeah,
or,
right.
Like Butler.
Yeah.
It makes it that much cooler.
For sure, and that much more obscure and rare, honestly.
Right. And it might not have like that much more monetary value to some people, but like you know, it's just insane.
It's cool to us.
Yeah.
Next up, this was a Instagram snipe of mine actually, like years ago. It's Homey the Clown from Living Color. So anybody who's familiar with that would know what this is. But kind of a bootleg graphic looking Homey. Like honestly, I haven't seen this one really like anywhere else, just because I think this was kind of a knockoff Homey shirt. But you normally don't see these going for anywhere less than $75, and I got this for like 30 shipped on Instagram a long time ago. But yeah, just a really good size, and I don't know, Homey the Clown is just a classic character from that era. Good shirt. Yeah. This next one, this is kind of getting into some art stuff now.
Hell yeah.
Artiste. That was kind of random, but this one, shout out to the homie Bailey again, man.
This is one you were talking about when I was at the store.
This is the one I was talking about. This is my first and only Haring piece so far that I have. Bailey.
Aside from your tattoo.
Yeah, aside from the Haring tat. But yeah, Bailey at Vintage Culture hooked me up. That's fam. But yeah, he had this hanging on the wall and he had just gotten it in, and I saw how long it was, which is like music to my ears, and I was like, yo, like, what is that? And he pulled it down, it fit, and it went home with me. So yeah, man, this is a crazy one just because Keith Haring and what he represented was, monumental and just changed how art and a lot of times, how streetwear is done. You see, like, Keith Haring's estate, obviously he's passed on, but his estate, like, they do so many collaborations with shit still to this day. Mm-hmm. Like, his name will never be forgotten, which is really cool to me. But yeah. This next piece is actually a piece that I've had for a really long time that I think my dad thrifted. And it's a Fred Babb piece, Art Can't Hurt You, which is, it's funny because this piece was one that, like, I held on to because of the message of it, and I thought it was a really cool graphic, but at the time, like, when we thrifted this, like, probably 5 years ago, there was, I don't know, we had, like, 5 Fred Babb pieces, and you know how art stuff is, like, kind of boomed recently?
It's going crazy.
But, like, at the time, like, we couldn't get rid of these. Like, we had these in the unit for, like, $15 a piece. Like, now these are, I don't even know what. But I'm glad I held on to it because of, the respect it's getting now and, just kind of what it represents. Yeah, it's a really crazy piece. Also on one of my favorite tags, your head goes here. Just really dope. So shout out to Fred Babb. He was always pushing the limits of shirt graphics and art and, being dope. So that's a really good tee. This next one was a personal come up at the thrift. This was from a lady, I'm spacing her name. Oh, it says on the sleeve. Bail me out. This is from Jenny Holzer. It was from the Museum of Contemporary Art in Chicago. And I found this fairly recently, but it just has a bunch of really kind of cool and crazy sayings on it that was part of her installation at the museum. And it was crazy. I found this right after I went to the Museum of Contemporary Art in Chicago for Virgil's exhibit. And then I came home and thrifted this, and it was just like, I don't know, it was like a sign. But this is one of my all-time favorite cops, I'd say, from the racks. It was just because of all the crazy shit it says on it. So yeah, if you want to pause the video at this point and read everything that's on here, you feel free. But yeah, that's that.
Type your favorite one down.
Right, yeah. Comment below. This next one is super cool because this was one of the artists who did a lot of the Grateful Dead graphics. This shirt is actually not Grateful Dead related at all, but the colors and graphic of it, this is the front side and this is the back side. It's just really cool and vivid, and again, like, I can't stress enough how I love when vintage t-shirts have good length to them, and this is one that just has a really great, like, if I could have every vintage shirt that I own fit like this one, I'd be in heaven. Just a really, really cool graphic, and it just reminds you of a lot of the old Dead stuff, but
it looks
but I don't feel like as much of a poser when I wear it. Like, when people might question, like, oh, what's your favorite Grateful Dead song? And I
don't know.
I don't know. I don't really listen to much Dead, but this one is like getting the best of the Dead look without having to rep the Dead too much. So
yeah, fair enough.
This next guy actually came from some kid. I don't know.
Ooh, I remember this one.
This one came from this guy right here. You thrifted this, right? Yeah, I guess you can kind of talk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad it's in your collection, man.
Yeah.
I remember I found it at the racks with like a Grateful Dead T-shirt, and this one was like, it was like 1, 2, 3 like in succession, or like these really like crazy, like there was like another art one that I found with it, but I can't remember, like it had like a really like, I can't remember who was quoted on it. It was really weird, and then the back on it is so sick.
So the front says the thrill of victory, and I don't know if you can see, but this is like kind of the puff print, like raised print on that with like the color on Jesus or whatever, and then the back says, and the agony of defeat, and has like Satan like in red and fire, like all the fire is raised up like puff print. Like, it's just a super crazy cool shirt. And
neither of us could find anything.
No, we have no idea. It's from '92, but yeah, just a super crazy shirt. Just
and the tag on it's crazy.
Yeah, the tag on that old Hanes heavyweight, just really good shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if this was worn by just some Jesus freak back in the day or like what this was.
I have
It's super
absolutely
cool.
no idea, but I remember like I posted it immediately. You're like, yeah, I gotta grab that.
Yeah, I need that. Like there's some shirts that like I don't know what it is, but sometimes I don't know, man. Clothing just be speaking to you. It's tight. So yeah.
Put that on the shirt.
Put that on a t-shirt. Clothing be speaking to you. Yeah, next up, we can get into the Indianapolis pieces that I have.
Mr. Naptown Thrift.
Man, yeah, Naptown Thrift. Man, this is probably some of my favorite stuff just because this is where I was born and raised. Right. And this is what you guys are about to see is just like the tip of the iceberg. I got a whole slew of Indianapolis stuff in the vault that like doesn't fit me that I'm just holding on to because it's hometown stuff. But this is a little taste of some of it that I wear. So starting off, like I grew up in Broderpool, which is a town here in Indy. So anything Broderpool related that is obviously Indy related is just like that just makes it twice as good for me.
You guys are just right outside of Broderpool.
Oh yeah, and the shop is in South Broderpool, so just hometown, born and raised, and you know, seeing it on a t-shirt makes it that much better. So this is from the old Broderpool library. I closed the book on the old Broderpool bookstore. So yeah, next chapter opens downtown, and they have the big library downtown. So yeah, this is super cool. This next one's this is probably my favorite Broderpool piece I have, just because like it puts it all into perspective. Like I like the Earth stuff a lot, and this has the entire globe, and then it has one little arrow pointing to where Broderpool would be on the entire globe. And it's just like, you know, Broderpool versus the world type shit on the old All Sport tag. Like just a really dope shirt. So yeah, this might be like top 5 favorite tees I have.
This one's cool.
That's cool. This is another Broderpool one. Just growing up, my mom would take me to the art fair every year in Broderpool, and it was just exposure of a lot of different, you know, creative outlets and culture and people and stuff that, you know, I don't know if I would have been exposed to unless I grew up in Broderpool, you know?
Right.
Just, it was cool to, you know, you would go to stuff like this and you could tell it was cool to be different. Like, I don't know.
And that's always how Broderpool has always been for
sure.
All of us. Like, we grow up in, like, different parts of Indy, but, like, Broderpool's the place where you're, like, oh, you go and get coffee and, like, you see art. But it's, like, that's how people are, and it's cool, like, growing up, finally seeing that and being able to, like, embrace that and, like, have
for sure. And, like, yeah, you even walk around the street, there's graffiti everywhere, but it's not, like, frowned upon. Like, it's encouraged murals and stuff like that. Like, it's just cool. So, yeah, this is a art fair shirt from '94, Broderpool.
Good reflection of what Broderpool is.
For sure. This one, actually, and I guess one thing I regret not having more of in my indie collection is Indianapolis Ice stuff, because their stuff is so cool. But this piece I do own, because it fits me really well, and it's also just a really different piece that you don't see every day. So it's like, you can't obviously feel it from behind the camera, but it's like a really kind of like woven, like
hemp.
Almost, yeah, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of Aztec, like woven, almost like blanket feeling kind of material. But it's an Indy Ice shirt, and this is the logo that they used, I think, between like 87 and 91, before they switched to the purple and kind of black stuff with the polar bear on it. They used this logo. It might have been even shorter than that. It might have been even like 89 to 91, like really short-lived. And it's on that old Logo Athletic logo that you saw earlier. But yeah, just a really kind of weird shirt. Like, it's like, I don't know what this would have even been for if you were trying to like be business casual at an Indy Ice game. I don't know. But it's cool.
Yeah, I have no idea. Oh my goodness, it's made in Guatemala.
Hey, shout out to the Guatemalan here.
That's funny.
Super cool. These next 4, just to kind of speed things up, I mean, these are all Pacers shirts. I just think they're all dope for their own reasons. This one just has Tazz, and like they just threw Pacers logos like all over the shirt, like 1, 2, 3, 4 on the back. And it says, to me, the kind of fried part about this shirt is it says Trappin Tazz, like shout out like Migos, even pre-Migos, like who the hell from the Pacers made this shirt and was like, yeah, trapping, like,
yeah,
they probably meant like full court press trap, but these days when you see trap and Tazz, like, I don't know, it makes
different connotation.
Yeah, different connotation. So that one's cool in its own way. This one's cool because it has that back hit, I love this team, you know, and that I love this game slogan from the NBA at that time was just like everything. And then with the like inside stuff, like I love this stuff, like that whole campaign was just like the NBA at its pinnacle. It's just really cool. This is another one, bootleg one. Shout out to the homie Bailey again. Hooked this up with the bootleg Nike hit on it. The back says "Just do it, baby." 98 playoffs. Really cool.
That was also cool because I feel like every single one of us have one because of Bailey.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ed has one, you have one, I have one. I'm sure Benson has one. Like,
right.
It's cool that we all have one thing that's probably all in our collections that won't leave. That ties it over.
For sure.
Yeah.
This is probably my favorite out of them though, just because it's from the '98 playoffs where we almost took down the Bulls and made a finals appearance, but Jordan got us in Game 7. Shout out to The Last Dance, though.
Right, I was saying,
if you saw that documentary, you know why this shirt is so tight. And then the back hit is crazy. It says 98 playoffs, baby. Again, I love this stuff. Like, pinnacle NBA, like, to me, just as a kid, like, liking this stuff. Super cool shirt. So, yeah, that's the little taste of the indie stuff I have, man. Again, that's the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
If we do a part 2 of this series, man, y'all gonna see some shit. Last but not least, which I think is kind of fitting just because of what we love with vintage and what vintage represents, you know, being environmentally sound and, you know, good for the environment, you know, not promoting fast fashion, like all earth related stuff and just, you know, peace. So this first one, kind of going through these pretty quickly. Just, you know, people dancing together, locked arms, promoting the earth, promoting peace. This one I actually got from the homie Gabe. Shout out Gabe. But yeah, just good graphic. Matches well with the Sean Weatherspoons. Lucky enough to have a pair of those. This next one is kind of a big, like, fuck you to the gas companies that drill too deep into the ocean and leak a bunch of shit. So it says, we don't care. We don't have to care. We're Exxon. At Exxon, we're part of the problem. So a big fuck you to Exxon. And yeah, just, you know, if you care about the environment, you like to see these guys getting slandered a little bit because of how much they screw up.
It's like that South Park episode. We're sorry.
Oh yeah, we're sorry, right?
But on a t-shirt.
Yeah, but on a t-shirt. So yeah, actually, funny story behind this. Posted this on the shop page actually, even though I kept it, and an Exxon employee commented like hella salty in the comments, like, how dare you post this shirt? Like, you buy cell phones that are also bad for the environment with how they waste. He just like tried to come at me sideways for even posting this shirt. I was like, dude, like, you guys kill millions of animals, like, and hurt the environment far more than my little iPhone does. So anyway, this next one, out of all my Earth shirts, this might be my favorite one, just because it's Earth related, but it says Mitakuye Oyasin, which is Lakota Native American, and it's part of their prayer. It means we're all connected as people, like we're all one, and it has the Earth on it. And I actually liked it so much I got it tatted right there, and that was my first tattoo, and it was because of this shirt right here, which is so this one, man. This might be top one of all the shirts I've shown you today. This is super cool to me. And it'll forever go with me to my grave from '89, and it still looks good, man. They don't make them like they used to. So that one's super cool.
Good enough to put on a shirt.
Exactly.
Not on a shirt.
On my arm.
On your arm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. This next one is just another Earth tee, just promoting water, sculpture of the Earth. Just really cool stuff like this. Like, I feel like this stuff, like, I would post it on Instagram and no one would like it. Like, it would go under the radar, but it's just, you look at stuff like this on the Earth that goes really underappreciated, and you can't help but be in awe at its beauty and its power to do what it does. So stuff like that is kind of a reminder of that. This is another one that I thought was really cool. I think this is cooler to me because I thrifted it myself. But it says, save our Earth, you must look after the environment, protect all living creatures, reduce waste, reuse items, and recycle. And buy recycled products like this is. And so they say that because you check out the tag, and the tag says, pitch in. This shirt is made from recycled products. So that's super cool. And it was from Earth Day, I believe, '99, One People, One Planet. I don't know, just a super cool piece. And you'd like to think if all t-shirts were made like that, man, we might be in a better place right now. But yeah, just super cool, promoting the Earth and the environment. Same thing with this next shirt. This is, man, this one's one of the most slept on brands from the 90s was Bugle Boy. Shout out to Bugle Boy, man. They don't get enough love, and for shit like this especially, they were ahead of their time promoting the Earth and promoting, you know, conservation. So climate change is a full-time job. Number one priority. You know, preserve the earth. Like, consider it yours, Bugle Boy. And this is all like raised up puff print, really cool colors. Bugle Boy, man, they were pushing the boundaries. Their designs, their colors, their message. Like, they did some real subtle, like, dressy stuff, but
they did some really whack stuff that I think a lot of people saw and were like, oh, they're whack.
Exactly.
I'm like, nah, if you see some of the crazy stuff that Bugle Boy did,
yeah, they're cool, man.
Really
so
cool
shout out
stuff.
to Bugle Boy. Last but not least, shirt-wise, the shirt, another Earth shirt. Save the rainforest, save the earth. It's simple. Just a really good message on that really good allure tag, which is one of my favorites. Made in the USA. This is another one from Bailey, man. Shout out to Bailey. As far as somebody who loves Earth shirts like I do, man, Bailey's one of those guys. So we're always kind of going back and forth, seeing what Earth tees we can trade with each other and cop from one another. But yeah, that's another really good one, man. That rounds it out for t-shirts. And last but especially not least, though, Daniel Wood, are these 1985 Jordan 1s in the natural gray colorway, I believe is the technical term.
I think it's neutral gray.
Is it neutral gray or natural gray?
Neutral.
One of those two. But, you know, people say white metallic, people say whatever. Yeah. But these are in a size 13, which is my size. And hopefully someday I can get these resold because someone loved them to death and was a heavy heel walker. And so if you resell shoes and would do a good job on these, man, hit me up. But Daniel Wood blessed me with these, man. He knew I'd been looking for a pair of 85 ones and a 13. And, man, how did you stumble upon these, yo?
The dude put them on. I'm going to bleep that out. The dude put it on somewhere, and I found it because he, I'm not going to actually, I found it online. And the dude, he was.
By fluke. We'll just say that.
Lucky. It was on MySpace. No, I found it, and the dude was like, yeah, these are my shoes from high school. So I think that's why it has so much wear on it. But yeah, I mean, it was just like one of those things where like I just happened to be checking around like the area that I was visiting that time, and it was like the day before I was going up, and he was like, yeah, we can meet up tomorrow. Yeah. So it worked out perfect, and I knew it was size 13. I was like, I shouldn't have told you ahead of time because I didn't want to get your hopes up and then something fall through.
Yeah, right.
Because like I remember you were hitting me up that day, like, did you get him? Did you get him? I'm like, yeah,
dude,
bro, I got it. And
I was a kid in a candy store, man. When he let me in on that, he was gonna be picking up a pair of these. Like, yo, you talk about streetwear and 90s nostalgia and like the pinnacle of what Jordan represented, man. It's like it all comes back down to the Jordan 1, I feel like, and you talk about skate culture, everything, like the dunks that are popular now, like it's all
high fashion. This is something that crosses everything.
I mean, it's everything. It's the Jordan 1, and to have a pair that started it all literally from that year, that's.
And you can point back to it as like being like a researcher of Nike, because Nike been around, but like
right.
This is like really what shot them off.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is when Nike took off, and it was crazy. It's like you hear stories like these sat when they first dropped, and now look how closely.
Yeah, like 7 different colorways of these.
Yeah,
you know? And it's like a lot of those sat and stuff like that. And to see someone that kept them because he played basketball and then wanted to pass them on.
And that's the other thing, man. Wear your sneakers. These are beautiful because of the natural wear and cracking and fading that has all gone through these. The yellow of the soles. I mean, I hope when I get them resold, I can still like get somebody to age them. But like the wear on the upper right here from the paint, like just beautiful, man. And every shirt that has a little imperfection on them, like that just makes it what it is. That lets you tell the story behind them to where you could say, yo, I played high school basketball in these 30 years ago.
That's what makes them unique.
Exactly. That's vintage in a nutshell, man. It's why we love doing this, and it's why I love showing off, you know, what's in my closet. So.
Well, thank you for showing us all of it. I got really lazy at folding it.
You're good, man. It's better than I can do.
I'll have to help you put it away later, but we appreciate it, man.
For sure. Thank you, dog.